All right, it might be the time to play some Delirium. With the new set, we're getting some cards that really work to enable Delirium. This is both cards that have two types, or two like main types associated with them. We have Patchwork Beastie here, Artifact Creature, and we have Fear of Missing Out, Enchantment Creature. These are both cards that are worth it to play in their own right, but it's just so much better when they are helping to turn on both the Delirium for their own abilities, but for other cards. So let's take a look at what we got to play today. Obviously, Lurrus decks, everything is CMC 2 or less when it is a permanent. Mishra's Bauble here as our artifact alongside Patchwork Beastie. Helps us with some card draw, helps trigger a DRC. Pretty standard in these sort of lists. Patchwork Beastie, a new card. It's pretty good. Can't attack or block unless there's 4 more card types, unless you have Delirium, that might read. 1 mana 3/3, so pretty solid down the stretch. We can get some decent value out of this guy. At the beginning of your upkeep, mill a card. This is going to help us do 2 things. Number 1, it turns on our Delirium, but it's also going to turn on our side mechanic of Descend. Stalactite Stalker at the beginning of end step gets a counter if we descended, and then it is technically removal if we pay 3 mana for it. So this thing's good to play turn 1 and grow over the course of a game. It's going to get really large, and with Fear of Missing Out, giving it essentially double strike in the combat phase, it can be a menace. And speaking of which, it has menace itself, the keyword. DRC needs no introduction, triggers off all of our non-creature spells, and becomes a hasty, or not really hasty, but a must-attack 3/3 flyer. Good card. Chthonian Nightmare going to be our big one here in terms of recursion. It both triggers Stalactite Stalker and then gets back our important cards. This can sometimes help us get Delirium in case we have a Fear of Missing Out or Patchwork Beastie and they have one of the missing types that we need to get into the graveyard. And then Chthonian Nightmare can help us get things back like Grim Flayer, Orcish Bowmasters, and our Fear of Missing Out on the top end. Bowmasters, solid card. This thing is amazing with Chthonian Nightmare because of the little token that we get. And then finally, Grim Flayer. When it deals combat damage to a player, we get to Surveil 3, and it becomes a 4/4 for 2 mana if there are Delirium, if Delirium is met for you. So we're really low to the ground. We would just want to put a bunch of small creatures into play, do some Chthonian Nightmare things to grow the board, and eventually overrun with Fear of Missing Out, flipped DRCs, or any one of these creatures when they've hit Delirium. We have a lot of fetch lands in this deck to make sure that we can continue to trigger Stalactite Stalker. We want this guy to be coming down turn 1 and doing its thing literally every turn. So that is a bunch of fetch lands, a bunch of surveil lands, and a deck that is going to be primarily permanents. We have only 8 that are not going to be. So that's Lurrus Delirium. It should be some good games today. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to do all the YouTube things, and I'll see you in round 1. This episode of Full Control MTG is brought to you by Patreon and your viewership. If you want to support the channel financially, the Full Control MTG Patreon is the best place to do so. With the Shockland tier, you get access to videos as soon as they are recorded and edited. Don't wait to get your hands on another Full Control MTG deck list. Otherwise, it's your support for the channel that keeps me going. Thanks for being here, and enjoy the video. Let's go. Here it is. It is round 1. Alright, so Bowmasters and Grim Flayer. That can help us really turn on this Delirium. It's not the fastest start that we could have. We're just on a Mishra's Bauble turn 1, but I'll try it. We'll go tapped Blood Crypt here in case we find our Stalker. And I will wait on the Mishra's Bauble. Swamp, possible Thoughtseize coming out. No, Dark Rit. Looks like a Necropotence comes down. Oh, it's Waste Not and then Thoughtseize. Alright. Inquisition. What are we taking? I guess they'll take a 2/2. So we just want to get Hellbent as soon as possible, basically. If they take a creature, we can Galvanic Discharge. Oh, it's actually just going to be a Mishra's Bauble. Cool. So I'm going to get a Grim Flayer onto the battlefield. This will just be pretty nice for us. So we need to make sure that we fetch green. Take a Swamp. And there's a Grim Flayer. Alright, so them taking things from me will only help my Delirium. Let's see if they have another piece of hand hate. They don't. Ooh. Alright, so now I have Bowmasters plus Galvanic Discharge. We're going to attack, get to surveil a little bit. Beautiful. Alright, what will we put into the graveyard here? Fear of Missing Out, enchantment creature. Land artifact, so we can have Delirium here. And I think I will do that. So now we have a big beater on the battlefield. Fear of Missing Out would actually be nice to have, but we can get it back if we find Chthonian Nightmare. Alright, so we now have Delirium here, and then I'll decide if I just want to do Lurrus or something else. I could put Lurrus into hand, but they are an Inquisition deck, and I probably don't want to be doing that. So we'll end turn. I will probably end up putting a Bowmasters out. They will Fatal Push me here. Fine. That is fair, but we've done what we needed to do. We got our Surveil on. I get to go for Bowmasters here on their end step. That will continue to be a problem for them. Target you. They can flash something back here, maybe a Fatal Push. Alright. These things are not problems. Galvanic Discharge, I will still continue to hold on hand. Thoughtseize, that's a good one. But Thoughtseize or Lurrus. Oh, Chthonian Nightmare draw next turn will be huge. We're going to turn this guy into another Bowmasters. I say we target them with this Thoughtseize. Nice. We know that they have Grief and Shieldred, so we'll take the Shieldred. And then the Grief is the easy kill with Galvanic Discharge. And we can even do it in response to the Grief entering. We'll attack. They'll probably Grief me next turn, and they will basically just be drawing a card. Mire. Let's see if they find something to put on top of the library. Fatal Push goes away. That's nice. I think they just go Gaia Reach into Grief, hardcast. Makes sense. We'll put that on the stack. Then we will discharge for 2. 1, 2. Alright, cool. Grief's gone. We lose our Galvanic Discharge. They get to draw a card, but they have no thing to do right now. We get to attack. We get to go Chthonian Nightmare. We get to go Chthonian Nightmare for X equals 2. Bring back the Orcish Bowmasters. Sacrifice this. Chthonian again, because that's awesome. And then we will bring this back to hand. X equals 2. We would much rather have, I think... ooh, do I want Grim Flayer or Fear of Missing Out? I think I'll take Fear of Missing Out here. And then we will sacrifice this guy. So it's kind of bad if we get hit with... it's bad if we get hit with discard here, but, you know, I was about to say that's not going to be a problem because we're discarding anyway. I think I'd actually rather that I take the Grim Flayer here. Kind of forgot about the fact that I need to discard with Fear of Missing Out. Stalactite Stalker, that's something, but we will try to get a 6th land to just Lurrus immediately, and then we'll be able to play that from the graveyard. So their hand hate now doesn't do anything for them unless it's a Grief. We're going to lose our Bowmasters, so be it. Oh, they could have Surgical here. Dire Reach. Okay, that's probably not great for me, so they'll get a 2-2 here. So now I don't feel very good about that. Yep. Alright, so they're getting max value here out of that Gaia Reach every turn. I gotta kill this Bowmaster stat. Grim Flayer. I think I can't put a Lurrus into hand here. If they have any sort of hand hate, we're just done for. Grim Flayer, it's a 4-4. That stops their blocks. Ooh, reanimate the Bowmasters. And now they have a big token. That's pretty nice for them. Ooh, and now, even if I play a Lurrus, now the Lurrus is going to die. Alright, so now we're kind of in a tough situation. Now, if they attack with the Orc army, I can eat it, and then I'm maybe not hating myself so much. But then they can still block with the Waste Not tokens. Yeah, I think, unfortunately, the Gyreach Sanitarium was too strong for us with Waste Not on the battlefield. Yeah, I mean, I can do this, but then I just go Lurrus buy, Lurrus play, they do Gyreach things, and I'm done. I do have a Mishra's Bauble here, though, which unfortunately will kill my Lurrus no matter what, so it is what it is. Yeah, no attacks really make sense here. We have not exactly done the thing that we wanted to, which was play a Stalactite Stalker early and just continue to grow it. And as a result, we find a pretty tough situation for us right now. They're going to do a Shieldred next turn. I think I probably want to activate this now then, but they still kill my Lurrus. It is what it is. I think we're pretty much done for here. We don't really come back from this situation. But regardless, we will give it the old college try. And at this point, they just start attacking, and I will probably be dead. I'm effectively at 8. They have a 9/9 and about 6 power. I think if they attack all in here, it's about it. I'll go ahead and let them take it out here, because even with these draws, especially with this being a Mishra's Bauble, we are not doing much. We'll pass. Alright, and I guess I could have killed myself with my Bloodstained Mire. It's all good. Alright, and we'll let them Gyreach me to death, I think. Grief, they're looking at a Bloodstained Mire right now. I'll take a look at their top since they looked at my hand. Alright, it's a Swamp, so we will die in our upkeep to a Shieldred trigger or to them right now with a Gyreach activation. Alright. And it looks like we'll die to damage, the most normal of ways of losing a game. Well, they showed that mono black hand hate and discard is actually not a terrible deck. Maybe I'll need to come back and return to that. I really loved over the course of the time that I've been playing Magic that we've seen a lot of iterations on Historic and Timeless when it comes to mono black. We've seen pure discard, we've seen big black, we've seen mid-range black with like Phyrexian Obliterator and things like that. We've even seen some variants where they try to fight their Obliterators. And now we've come back full force to the Orcish Bowmasters, Shieldred, and Waste Not Hand Hate. Kind of cool. Well, with that being said, we have 4 more rounds. Let's try to get a win. Alright, round 2. Double fear of missing out. Will that be a problem? Survey says probably. I'm going to mulligan. It's alright. We get to do something. I mean, we do get early Thoughtseize into Bowmasters. Like, that might not be bad. Fear of missing out will help me set up Delirium, because I can probably discard the other fear of missing out. Alright. I think I'm kind of convinced here. So let's see if opponent keeps their 7. Alright, that they will, and we will get to look at a whole 7 cards then. Oh man, alright, this is a thing that we don't do too well around. Orcish Bowmasters deals with a Johnny. We probably need to just take the Guide of Souls here. Alright, well, it's a good thing that we have both of these guys. These are good removal spells. They'll go Ocelot Pride. We have a blocker in Fear of Missing Out. We're going to have 3 things in the graveyard now. With Galvanic Discharge or our Wooded Foothills, we will hit Delirium. So we are off to the start that we'd like to see. Do they have removal? They do. It's a Lightning Bolt. So Ocelot Pride will get to start to do its thing. Chthonian Nightmare has come at a good time. I'm going to go Orcish Bowmasters now, take the Ocelot Pride, and then if they play the Ajani, we deal with it through Galvanic Discharge. This is the one that makes a bunch of gnomes, right? Okay. I'm not a huge fan of that. We might need to kill it pre-combat and then just deal with the fact that a Johnny's on the battlefield. No, it'll just be a Johnny. All right. And then Screaming Nemesis. When dealt damage, it deals damage to any other target. If a player gets dealt damage, they cannot gain life. So this, one would assume, is meant to be used with a Johnny. Or maybe with... So they probably also play Galvanic Discharge, and then they can turn that into a Galvanic Discharge style Lightning Bolt or something like that. Okay. So the question becomes, am I doing Galvanic Discharge this turn? I think the answer is yes. So we will actually then... I think we will still kill the Johnny right now. They clearly would like to make that work. So let me get my red-green land, Stomping Ground. Pay 2 life, we'll go Discharge here. And I think actually I will not trade with the cat because we want to do Chthonian Nightmare things. All right, no blocks. My turn. And here is another Bowmasters potentially. That could be good. We'll go Chthonian Nightmare. Let's do this. We need 2 here. We will get a Fear of Missing Out. Discarding. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I could Bowmasters instead, possibly. I'm trying to figure out if I want to just loop Bowmasters here. Maybe I hold on the Chthonian Nightmare. Maybe I wait to see what their next play is. Or, you know what? It's not super good that Fear of Missing Out comes at this time. If I sack the Bowmasters and bring it back, I'm still discarding my other Bowmasters, so that doesn't feel good. But were I to sack Bowmasters to bring back Fear of Missing Out, discard my Bowmasters, then sack the Orc army, then that doesn't feel so bad. All right. We'll do it for 2. Target this. Sack the Bowmasters. Alright, we will discard a card. It will be the Bowmasters. Then we will draw a card, and now we will Bloodstained Mire, find black. We will shock here. We're getting a little bit low on the life total here, but now it kind of makes sense to have a Grim Flayer out. And so now we have 4/4 Double Strike turned on, which is good. And when we bring out our Orcish Bowmasters here, oh crap. Alright, there's a Swords. Hopefully that took most of their turn. Ragavan, they'll take a damage. Okay. So not great. We have Patrick Beastie here, or we can just go Chthonian Nightmare. I think we're just going to loop a little Orcish Bowmasters here. For X equals 2. We will grab a Bowmasters, sack this guy, and we'll take out the Rag first. Then what else do we have in the graveyard here? We have another Orcish Bowmasters. Good. And then at this point, to be honest, let's attack first. See if they give me a 2-for-1 trade. They don't give me anything, so they clearly are trying to do more. A flyer is going to be huge here, so we will let this happen. But then at the beginning of my next upkeep with Patrick Beastie. Oh no, I'm not going to cast Patrick Beastie this turn. Alright, cool. So then we go boom. X equals 2. Bowmasters. Take this. And now we have a Bowmaster, so we can take out this 2-1. Alright. So I'm worried that they're going to play an Impact Call. But they're worried that they can't win the game in general, so they'll give us round 2. I honestly didn't feel very confident with a lot of those plays made there. We kind of got into one of those awkward situations that Fear of Missing Out is built around, where if you're Hellbent, this is actually kind of a tough card to have in play. You need to have some level of card draw in order for Fear of Missing Out to not get rid of some of your important cards. And, you know, Chthonian Nightmare definitely proved its worth this time around. I think that you definitely need to have Fear of Missing Out stick around after the initial casting. You need to be careful about when you bring it back, especially with something that is potentially card negative like Chthonian Nightmare. But with that being said, I'm happy with the way that round 2 went, and we have round 3 up next. It is round 3. We have some cheap creatures for once. That's pretty good. DRC into turn 2, remove their creature and attack could be nice. Even though we don't have the Mishra's Bauble, I'm cool to take this one. Particularly like Chthonian Nightmare for when they eventually kill one of my creatures. Oh, don't want that one. We want this one that I gotta pay for. DRC against Elegant Parlor onto the Wellspring. Do we think it's energy aggro? I think it probably is. Arid Mesa. They'll fetch it. Am I going to see an Ajani here? Amped Raptor, that is kind of the same thing. Alright. They will hit the annoying Ocelot Pride. Alright, so what am I playing here? If you're missing out, feels kind of good. Grim Flare also feels kind of good. I can cast both. I think I'm interested in Grim Flare first. And it can block the Ocelot Pride. I've got to see if they have removal here. And Ajani would be awkward. If they played an Ajani, we would have to let Ocelot Pride go through. Alright. Flage, that's unfortunate. So we lose Grim Flare. It is what it is. That is one thing in the graveyard for Delirium. Well, all these things have first strike, so can't do much. Thoughtseize would have been nice a little bit earlier. Chthonian Nightmare plus Galvanic Discharge. Kind of like the idea of that. It's not the greatest. I'd like to have a Bowmasters online first. We'll go Fear of Missing Out first, actually. Then maybe Thoughtseize. Get rid of the Commercial District and draw. And Stalactite Stalker. I'm actually interested in this far more than anything else. No attacks here are necessary. We do get a 2/2. So now there's two things that can block this Ocelot Pride. I'm hoping that's going to be enough. They don't have enough cards for a Flage out of the graveyard. That feels good, so we're safe from that for a little bit. I think that I want to rip a Thoughtseize and something else next turn, but that something else is likely going to be Chthonian Nightmare, so I'm a little bit not happy about that. If it's Galvanic Discharge Thoughtseize, that does get me to Delirium, I think, because we have creature land in the graveyard. If they kill Fear of Missing Out, that means I'm also pretty close, and that's nice. Windswept Heath. Sure. And they will shock. What kind of problematic things are we about to see? It's the One Ring. Okay. My attacks wouldn't have been so straightforward next turn, so this is not the worst thing in the world for me to see. We need to turn off their ability to draw. So Galvanic Discharge, take out Ocelot Pride. Or take out Amped Raptor, possibly, then go Thoughtseize. I'll try Thoughtseize first. This gives me, well, really no choices because it's my only black mana. Oh, and they have protection. Such an idiot. All right. Chthonian Nightmare Galvanic Discharge then. That's a little awkward. Yeah, I mean, I could Thoughtseize myself and then kill one of their creatures. That gives... I mean, that gives my things Delirium, but it doesn't matter. So it's Chthonian Nightmare, hold for Galvanic Discharge. We Surveil. We put a permanent into the graveyard. That's good. Stalactite Stalker is on. And I think we can wait. Is there anything I want to bring back? Not really. It's another Grim Flare. Not the end of the world. No attacks are necessary here. We'll end turn. Alright, another counter. We're getting bigger little by little. So we basically just need to get ahead of them until they're able to find a Goblin Bombardment, at which point I think this becomes a really different game. 4 cards in graveyard. Flage might be coming soon. Boy, would I love to have a Bowmasters right now. Ah, there it is. All right, Goblin Bombardment. So we have to take out the Pride now. We get the Surveil. And really, we just need to have a Stalactite Stalker that's bigger than their board is wide. Okay, so they waited a little bit on the Galvanic Discharge. It wouldn't really have mattered. There goes my DRC. It still will Surveil one, and here's the Bowmasters we were looking for. All right, we keep on top. Pay 1 to kill their Ocelot Pride. All right, now they have Bombardment. Cannot kill either of my creatures unless they play another one here, which that's a tough one. That's actually the toughest one. Feels bad about my Galvanic Discharge, man. Okay, so then they now sack. They kill my Stalactite Stalker. They kill my Fear of Missing Out, and then we have a slow turn to death here. Man, that's unfortunate. We were looking pretty solid, but just got outran by the Sajani, and it will happen fast. I can deal 1 direct damage to the Ajani, I guess. Does it matter? Not really. It is Bowmasters bring a creature back. Maybe DRC. I think we just have to attack with Fear of Missing Out. Yeah, I mean, that's just unfortunate. Things not quite going to work out here. We don't even get our trigger. Yeah, so sad. All right, well, I guess I probably should have not targeted the Amped Raptor. Kind of forgot about that interaction. For those not in the know, fizzling the Bowmaster's trigger fizzles both the ping and the orc, since it's part of the same clause. Okay, well, I think that we pretty much are going to just bleed out here. They've got a full hand. They've got the Goblin Bombardment. There is a reason that this deck is so strong and got a few cards banned in other non-rotating formats on Arena. As much as it sucks to see, this is a good litmus test for what a new deck can do when put up against the pillars of the format. And unfortunately for this Jund Luris, it is not looking like a whole lot. Johnny doing his thing. We are getting hit big time. I think at this point I'm not even bothering to play a creature here. We are at 4. Not much we can do here. And actually we are exactly at lethal with the Guide of Souls triggers. Fair play to them. Absolutely nuts what a Goblin Bombardment can do to this matchup. It's crazy to think that back in the day that was not standard tech for this red-white energy aggro deck, but now you see it in almost every one. Well, with that being said, a disappointing round 3, but we have 2 more left to try to make it work. Round 4. I like a hand that has a bunch of Orcish Bowmasters in it, but I don't like one that can't cast any of my red spells. Let's see if we can draw one. We have things to do turn 1 and turn 2, so it's really not bad until 3 or 4. Flooded Strand. I do like the artwork on this. It's really beautiful. Pay 2 life. Let's seize those thoughts unless you have a Spell Pierce. Alright, we get to see it. There's a Flage, and there is a bunch of energy. So this is going to be Jeskai energy control. 1 Swords to Plowshares, kind of annoying. Galvanic Discharge. See, the problem is Wrath of the Skies is going to be really good against me. I suppose I just take away a Galvanic Discharge for now. We might need to have some of the life that's required here to stay alive. Okay, they do play Stifle. Good to know. Okay, so now I have red. That's good. We know that they have swords. I think a 2/2 that gets exiled is not the end of the world. It's going to do some damage towards our progress to Delirium. If they'd like to Swords to Plowshares this, they may. Alright, they don't want to. They want to save the swords for something better. Oh, they have a Flage. Duh. Alright, well, too bad we don't play swords ourselves. And too bad they didn't take that Stifle. Alright, so now we have DRC Bowmasters. So we go. We're looking to get them on a Brainstorm, I think. I think I will play 2 here. The 1 ring, you got it. We will let them attempt to draw here. Then we'll get them with Bowmasters. That's pretty good for us, but we have to unfortunately target ourselves. And for this one, we can target our guy, and we go to our turn. Cool. So they have protection here. It is what it is. I have Galvanic Discharge and Bowmasters held up. We can put a land into the graveyard, but let's just not show that yet. We'll go tapped with this guy and pass. We are looking to avoid a Wrath of the Skies. And I think they're looking to dig for one. Okay, so if they had gone really early with the 1 ring, yeah, they're looking at the Bowmasters here. They will Swords. Fine. I will still get my other one here. See if they have removal here. They'll have to use their other discharge. But that's fine because it means that this 3/3 is going to stick around. Alright, cool. So even though I lose that, we will still get our 3/3 to stick on the battlefield. And creature sorcery, you're looking for land, and I guess maybe instant could work. This is their Galvanic Discharge, right? I think I'm actually incentivized to kill my own. We'll even get a Surveil here. Bloodstained Mire goes to the graveyard, and now all of a sudden we have Delirium. We'll pay for 1. Cool. I guess I could have done that at any time, but actually now that this fizzles, they don't get their energy. Beautiful. Alright, so now I got Delirium. Now I have attacks. I can also Thoughtseize them. That's a big power play here. Fear of missing out. Would I like to draw or discard that? I think I'll mill it away looking for Chthonian, Nightmare, and then I'll just buy a Lurrus. They reveal hand, so we know that we can take Wrath of the Skies. That was the biggest one that we were worried about. Now I go Lurrus. I go Verdant Catacombs. We say go. Their Flage from hand takes out half of my attack here, and then this Lurrus is not necessarily going to stick around because of their swords. I can play chicken around their Swords to Plowshares here. They have 7 cards in graveyard, including a Flage. Okay, that part doesn't feel very good. I think this is going to be another situation where we might not survive. Opponent might turn the table a little bit too quick for us. Alright, they'll start with the 1 ring. Would have loved if my 2 Bowmasters stuck around, but they did have the answers. And yeah, so here comes a Flage. I think I lose DRC first. And I can't really remove the Flage, which is the big problem here. We're meant to attack, not meant to remove threats. Okay, well, Chthonian Nightmare, honestly not so bad. So we go Shock for... Oh, we don't have enough black here. Crap, that's so bad. So I have to go Lurrus first. Yeah, this is really unfortunate. So get a black source, and then does Lurrus get anything of substance from the graveyard? I suppose Fear of Missing Out. Oh no, Fear of Missing Out still dies. Yeah, we don't have a lot of things that are for toughness. I guess it's pretty much Grim Flayer is the only one. Boy. Well. Oh, the colors didn't even work. Oh my gosh. So it has to be DRC then. Fine. And no attacks can happen, unfortunately. So we have this slow piddly thing with DRC. They can Legend Rule of Flage, take out 2 of my creatures. Yeah, I mean, the question is, can they kill me before the One Ring kills them? I think the answer is yes. I think I double block here, right? They have 1 card in graveyard, yeah. Needs to be double block here, but then they just Swords to Plowshares, get a 2-for-1. Yeah, unfortunate. Not really much we could do here. Galvanic Discharge. They lose 3 a turn, but they gain 3 a turn, so they're technically just at a stable life total. Yeah, I think unfortunately we lose round 4 as well. Jeskai Energy Control is pretty fun, though. It's a cool deck. We'll drop this Chthonian Nightmare, and yeah, we take 9 here. That's all but over for us. A Bolt from hand will do it. Any creature we play is going to be removed. Yeah, kind of tough beats here. We gave it a good try in the beginning, had some good run, but ultimately it was not fast enough. The responses out of control are a little bit too fast right now. You know, that's the way that the formats go. Things are quick, things are fast, and it does provide a more stimulating little bit of gameplay there. So we'll take a Surveil here, I think. Bowmasters is our best draw. And we get Stifled here. Okay. Yeah, they don't even care to do the Stifle on their One Ring. Bummer. And Flage number 2 will do it. Okay, it's been really rough, honestly, so far this series. I was kind of hoping to see some Fear of Missing Outs get to do their thing, but honestly, in the decks that I've played it in so far, it has not felt very good. We're still looking for that home, though, and maybe we'll find it soon. But for now, we can give it one last try in round 5. Okay, here we go, round 5. DRC, that has been a source of happiness for me as of late. I'll give it a try. I think definitely one of the hard parts with this deck is that Chthonian Nightmare doesn't really pop up until we have exactly Bowmasters, either in the graveyard or in hand. Hopefully we'll find it fast. So we want green, then we want black, so we can go Grimflayer soon. Grimflayer is definitely a turn 2 targeted play. Static Prison, that's okay. Looks like we are on some sort of at least white core, possibly red-white energy shell. I'm sure we'll see either one of the 1-drop energy creatures come out this turn. Oh, it's actually just an Esper Sentinel. Be crazy if they didn't have another land. Okay, they do. Flooded Strand finds what colors? What sort of deck are we playing? Oh, blue-white. Might not be what I thought. So if Grimflayer can get in, we feel really good. Mockingbird will copy their Esper Sentinel. Alright. Let's attack first. See if we can get a double block. Nice. We get to mill 3. That's huge. So Fear of Missing Out, I probably want it in the graveyard. Artifact as well. And then we will be able to put a land back. So I think having DRC now is pretty strong, so we'll do that. Seems good. Then we go 1. I think Fear of Missing Out now is ideal. Discard the land. We'll draw the DRC. Then we do something that gets red. Red black, alright? I think so. And we go DRC. Alright, cool. So now things just got pretty good. I am excited about this. Chthonian Nightmare ready to do some work if this Grimflayer can attack in. White Orchid Phantom takes out a Stomping Ground. Luckily we do play basics. We will find green. It's our final green. And I like the way things are going so far. Stalactite Stalker, not bad. So we're going to attack all the way in here. We're going to double strike the Grimflayer. Force them to trade fully with it if they'd like to survive. Oh, we actually just get it here. We get to Surveil 3. Galvanic Discharge is probably going to be important to me. Will it actually? Maybe I am just looking for a Bowmasters. Yeah, especially with only 6 life left. That's pretty dang good. And then we'll attack again with our Grimflayer, see if they'd like to block this time. Nope, not worth it to them. So can we get a Bowmasters? Chthonian Nightmare to the grave. Alright. Well, Stalactite Stalker is definitely ready. Definitely turned on here. And Chthonian Nightmare or Thoughtseize. I'm actually more interested in Thoughtseize. And hey, we'll actually take round 5. And this maybe will show that if unaltered or if unaffected by our opponent's plays, we can actually put forth a pretty good game plan. Yeah, Grimflayer, Fear of Missing Out, and DRC. That was turn 3, turn 4. Total of 3, 5, 9, plus another 4 is 13 damage. Pretty sweet. Mockingbird, interesting deck here. What do you copy in blue or white? I mean, White Orchid Phantom definitely seems like something that's good to copy. This could have just been Death in Taxes splashing blue for Mockingbird. But regardless, we take round 5, and it kind of feels good to end it on a win. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck. If you'd like to give it a try and iterate yourself, check out the Moxfield link in my video description. Subscribe if you're new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you're a returning subscriber, please like and comment. Those things help me a bunch, and I'll see you guys in the next one.